Hey, I'm Patrick, and I wanted to do a quick demo video on this app that I've been working on called Tachy. And this is just a quick snapshot, and I'm not going to go very deep or super deep today. There's a lot I could talk about, but I think it would be way too long for a quick demo intro video. So just a high-level look at where things are right now, are at right now, and how the app is structured, the main features, and what's coming next. So first we have the monitoring tab. You can start live heart rate monitoring sessions here and also run orthostatic testing. And the system is quite flexible. You can run it standalone on the Apple Watch or combine the watch and iPhone app so that you can see your stats on your phone in real time. Or you can also use an external Bluetooth monitor like the Polar Verity Sense or visible armband. And I've added Polar support and Apple Watch support, so you can use, I've said that already. So next, I think in terms of alerts, I think it's one of the key parts of live heart rate monitoring. So you can set up very customizable alerts in the settings for when your heart rate goes out of range or into a target range. And you can also fine-tune the threshold, as you can see here. The frequency, direction, and even customize the alert sound. And in the alerts tab, you'll see all of your currently active alerts, as well as a list of recent triggered alerts with durations for continuous ones. And I think this is super useful for conditions like POTS or ME/CFS, and probably other conditions too, but not for every chronic illness, definitely not. But yeah. One thing I haven't done yet is HRV tracking. Like right now I have a heart rate card here that pulls in HRV data that's automatically calculated by your Apple Health or Apple Watch. But I want to implement the camera-based method, which I think is more robust and more reliable. And I think that's definitely on the roadmap. So next would be symptom logging. So here we have the log. And this part is very flexible and very customizable. Let me just collapse all these cards really quick. So here's what I have currently done right now. We have the heart rate, which pulls in data from Apple Health. As you can see, it's syncing in real time or up to date. Sorry. We have symptoms, which is extremely customizable. You can disable, delete, or add, and you can give each one a rating for the day. We have mood and energy, which allows you to log multiple entries per day, each one being timestamped. We have activity and sleep, both of which also pull from Apple Health, but you can also override the sleep data if you really need, because that data sometimes is unreliable. We have orthostatic testing results. We have cycle or period tracking. This part I might need someone to validate the functionality because I don't have complete data. So if you're someone who has cycles, please let me know. For sodium and fluid, we have a tracker that allows you to quickly add how much sodium or fluid you're intaking for the day, which is important for conditions like ME/CFS or POTS where you might have hypovolemia. We have miscellaneous events, so you can add things like stress, if you did some kind of movement, or if you had an anxiety attack, whatever. It's important to note that this data is like test data. It's like randomly generated, so it has nothing to do with what I'm doing. And finally, we have interventions, which are things like pills, drugs, things you do like cold, stretching, whatever, maybe compression socks. And yeah, it's an easy way to log things that you think might be that you're doing to actively sort of influence your symptoms, which is important later on when you're trying to figure out what's going on or what's working, what's not. And yeah. Finally, we have notes, which accounts for things that I might have missed. And sometimes you just want to sort of log what notes, like some random thoughts that you have for that day, right? And eventually I want this to be, so first it's important to note that all of this data lives on device. There's no backend or server, and it's not sent anywhere. So you can rest easy if you care about like privacy stuff. It's very important. And also, second, I want to make these notes or sessions searchable semantically. So I want to be able to easily find things that happened in the past using natural language search, which I think is pretty important. And finally, you can reorder. You can reorder, hide, or delete. Actually, no, you can't delete, but you can reorder or hide any of these cards. So this allows for maximum customizability in terms of how you want to log your disease, because I know everyone's different, and some people might not want cycle tracking, for example, or mood or energy or things like that. So yeah. Next we have a timeline view. It's a very clean sort of timeline log. It's month by month, and it allows users to quickly see how things are trending, and because it gives you a very high level overview or snapshot of things that you're trying and all the different details about everything. And this isn't doing any analytics yet. It's more just about showing your data in a very efficient way, in a way that's easy to scan and reflect on. So what's next, right? Next, I think the highest priority would be adding charts and visualizations. So that would be in the trends tab at the bottom. It's not done yet. So people would be able to see trends or possible correlations between different variables. And I want to make this really as useful as possible, so it might take some time. But I think in terms of existing apps, I would say analytics are pretty like bare bones, I would say, and you have to pay for them. So I don't want that, right? I think I want to also add more log types, like weather data. I know that can affect symptoms for some people, and it would be really neat if you could have a card where you just input maybe your zip code, and then it just automatically pulls in maybe data from the weather app or other APIs. And yeah, I want to make as many symptom logging routes as automated as possible. Opt-in, obviously, for privacy reasons. And finally, I want to make a data importing feature to make it easy to sync your entire history from apps. Like I know a lot of patients use apps like Visible or Bearable to track their symptoms, and it would be a really seamless experience if you could just import it with like a few taps seamlessly. And I also want to mention, reiterate that everything is processed on device. There's no cloud, there's no servers, so everything stays on your phone. A quick note on my thinking, on my philosophy. I think a lot of health apps right now are way overpriced, and they have very predatory subscription models that don't really offer like a full complete feature set, and they lock very basic functionality behind like hundreds of dollars per year, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? And I think the tools for building apps have improved a lot. You can do a lot as a solo developer, and I don't think it has to cost that much. And I think my goal is really to provide a very solid core app with a lot of core functionality entirely for free, because I think a lot of people deserve it. And I only want to charge for like very optional advanced features, like if people really want them. So yeah, for power users only. And in terms of my development timeline, I want to wrap up these core features in the next week or two, and then I want to start like early beta testing after that to make sure everything's working properly and I didn't miss any edge cases. It's very important. And yeah, that's where things are right now in terms of development, and I'm overwhelmed by the response on my initial post. Thank you to everyone who offered like encouragement, and yeah, thank you for watching.